Alrighty, I messed up and I did not make my arrows or whatever you want to call them the same. They're all the same and I need to have them different. So this is what I'm trying to do, is to go through and change all of them and get them the right way. And we are getting ready to put this on the quilt, and I can't wait. Alrighty, hopefully I have them the way that I want them. I hope. So let's just see. Oh, I got two together here. Damn it. Let's see if we can start down here. And it still is alright. I quit. Oh, I made a boo-boo. And I'm going to live with it. I'm really gonna live with it. Let's see, I can't scoot this back. And see what I can do. I hate it, but I should have paid attention. But no, this right here don't have one right there. Okay. Huh. I could turn it. Yeah, that one there's right. That one will work. Yeah. Alright, now. And then this one. I hate it, but there ain't really much I can do about it. I don't like this being the same. And I wonder if I can take this one, bring it down here, put this one here. Alright, those are different. These are the same. That's fine, that's fine. That's fine, but this one ain't. So either way it goes, there ain't nothing I can do about it. So, now, let's see if we can't pin them down and sew them down. I wish that they would have had this for a baby quilt. This is how many pieces you need. For a light quilt, this is what you need. For a twin, this is what you need. But they don't. And let me tell you, it's if you know what you were doing, then it would help you be able to go through and get your colors. Like me, my colors, none of them are going to be right because I don't have them. I don't know how many I need, and I don't know if I want to count them when I get done. All right, let's see what we can do. Start sewing them down. All right, my cat must go out, so we'll let her out. All right, I took time and I looked at this chart right here. Let's see if I can't work it out. Go on in there and lay down. Nobody ain't gonna bother you. Alright. So, now, approximate finished size would be these. And this is pillow, and then 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by whatever. Alright. Number E. And we're going to go by a 86.5 by 89 3/4. And it says with E, which will be, this one is E. You need 48. Number of melons. And I would say that this is the melon. 110. You need background melon and yardage, 4 yards. Number of collective corner each fabric. I don't need that. Alright, and then we have number F. So which one would be F? That would be F. You need 56. And then you got B. Which one's B? This is B. 220. And then you have what? Binding fold, seamless. Well, I would like to know about A. There's B. B. 4 different fabrics right here. I think I already said that one. 220. Alright, well what about B? Okay, well let's go with B. B. Okay. 220. Wait a minute. How did it come to you? Okay. A. F. Where's A? There's B. Oh, I wish I could see better. Okay, background. And I don't see A. Seamless. B out of 2 different colors. Number of B's of each fabric. F out of 4 different yardage. Number of F out of 4 different fabrics. Connecting corners. See, it don't have A on here. It don't have A. So it don't tell you how many, still in the dark. Alright, that didn't really help none. Anyway, let's see what we do about getting started sewing these down.
It was, it was a really harrowing experience. And I said, yeah, something bad happened. She said, what? I said, we'll talk about it when we get off the reservation. So we drove off the reservation, and that's where we found out who she was. Because I asked her to get out of the van. She said, are you angry? I said, yes, I am angry. And the reason I'm angry is because we have taken you into our house. We've risked everything to help you. We've prayed for you hours and hours every night, and you're lying to us. And she said, what do you mean? I said, that spirit told us we didn't even know your real name. You weren't Ramona Jarnigan, and you were defiled by the blood of a virgin sacrifice. And I said, I have had it with you lying. We'll go to hell and back to help you if you will tell the truth. But I am not going to risk the lives of my 3 sons and my daughter because you're lying. I am not going to do that. The truth sets you free. No truth, no freedom. So even if we wanted to, we couldn't help you as long as you're lying. So we were outside by the van on the highway there. And she said, are you going to leave me here? And I said, I haven't decided yet. But if I am not absolutely convinced that you've told me the truth, yes, I'm going to leave you here. Just going to drive down the highway, act like we never saw you. That won't be my fault. That'll be your fault because you chose to keep honoring the father of lies. And that doesn't work. If you want to be a Christian, you have to embrace the truth, however hard that is. So the decision is yours. So who are you? And she's crying, and she was just a little bitty thing, and she's kneeling by the highway, and she said, if I tell you the truth, will you promise not to ask me to leave your family? And I said, yeah, if you tell the truth. So she said, well, my name's not Ramona Jarnigan. My name is Ray LeVay, and my father was Anton LeVay. Well, I had heard of Anton LeVay, and I said, the guy that carries the big snake around? She said, yeah, but that's not a real snake. That's Leviathan, his power spirit, and it can transmogrify, shapeshift, and do all kinds of things. Very powerful. So she said that the virgin sacrifice was my little sister, Delana Starr. She said, I didn't want to do it. Anton put his hands over mine around the dagger and cut her heart out, the sacrifice to Satan. She said, I love my little sister. I would never have done that. But that's what the Spirit was talking about, the blood of virgin sacrifice. She said, it's a terrible thing. And she said, I have had a horrific life. And she said, I've been through 6 of a battery of 7 horrific rituals. And she said, I'm not going to do the 7th one. Well, I had dabbled in this book enough to know the 7 rituals. And I said, are you talking about the rituals of defilement? Well, she was shocked that I'd ever heard of them. She said, yeah, I've been through the Bride of the Beast ceremony. And this Halloween, I'm supposed to be the bride of Satan. And I will kill myself before that happens. I will never allow myself to bear the seed of Satan. And so I said, okay, we're with you. And she said, the Church of Satan will come after you. And I said, well, what's new? Every night we've had demons in our house. We just had the power spirit of the Winnemucca Indian Nation come after us. I said, at this point, it's just another day at the office. So we're just going to trust God, and we'll fast and pray and do whatever it takes, and we'll help you get free. And so that's how it all started. And then I said, is there anything else? She said, yeah. She said, I told you I got in a car wreck, but that's not true. And I said, well, why would you lie about what happened to you? She said, well, it's embarrassing, but she said, I have a teenage daughter, and she tried to beat me to death with a baseball bat and then threw my body into the river. And she said, angels, she said, I don't know if I died or not, but anyway, angels revived me and pulled me out of the river and set me by the highway. And a family found me there and took me to the hospital, and they, helped me recover and did surgery on my face. Well, we aren't a huge metropolitan area, but I thought, what are the chances of 2 teenage girls beating their mother to death with a bat and throwing her in a river? And so I just said, is your daughter by any chance a vampire? She said, yes. How did you know that?
Oh my gosh.
I got stuck in a cage with her in juvenile. She said, oh yeah, they're trying her for attempted murder, and yeah, she's a vampire. And I just thought only God can pull off a story like this. The prophet says you need to read this book. I don't know why, but God tells me you need to read the book. Her being through 6 of the 7 rituals, God bringing her into our house, me connecting with her daughter. The whole thing was just like, oh my goodness. But you know what, Tony? What it did for me is it caused me to have an unshakable faith in the power and wisdom of God to control human events. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Obviously, God is involved. Obviously, He has a plan. And so, because of that, obviously, we're going to win this fight. And so that was in June. The months, the end of June, July, all the way through October, we were in a punch out with the Church of Satan. And it's all recorded in that book. I think time-wise, we're probably are we about to the end of the time allotted, or where are we at, Tony?
Since I'm the boss, we can go as far as we want to go. So if you want to keep going, I can keep listening, man. This is fascinating. I think. Yeah. Listen, if I said, "Oh yeah, I think we're at the end of it" and stuff, then the audience would be like, "I hate you. I'm never listening to the show again." You know?
Well, okay. I wanted to be sensitive to the timing, but I'll tell you what happened. She was kneeling there on the highway, and she said, "So I can stay in your family?" And I said, "Yes, but I want you to remember this lesson. Truth sets you free. Whatever, however horrifying it is, we love you. And we know that you've been involved in things that you would have never chosen. So just be honest, and God will help us." And so she said, "Okay." She said, Can I change my name?" And I said, "Well, I suppose so." She said, I don't want you to ever mention Ray again. She said, "I hate that name. I hate everything it stands for." She said, "I want to be named Deborah Joy Bryan." And I was a little shocked, Tony, because she obviously had been thinking about this and trying to figure out a way to get the courage to tell us who she was and what we were in for. So anyway, I said, "Wow, you had it all picked out?" She said, "Oh yeah." She said, "A prophet named Benny Hinn called me out of a whole coliseum." And she said, "I had gone there because when I went to churches, demons would take me over and they'd always turn me into mental health. So I had already decided that churches couldn't help me. And I went into this big miracle crusade in the auditorium in Sacramento. He called me out of the crowd. I tried to hide. He said, "You can hide from me, but you can't hide from your Heavenly Father. He knows you. He loves you. He knows the extreme torment that you've been through." And he said, "You never had a real father." He said, "A real father would have never done to you what happened to you." But he said, "God loves you, and He sees your heart, and He's prepared a family for you. But it's not in Sacramento. It's in a place called Yuba City." And he said, "God will bring you into a family. A pastor there will take you into his home and treat you as his own daughter. And your story will go around the world and impact thousands and thousands of people." So anyway, we found out about all this, of course, after the fact. She was already in our home. And I said, "Well, that's a cool story." So she said, "Yeah, that's what I was doing in Yuba City. I was looking for a pastor that would take me into his home, and you did." So anyway, of course, she warned us that now that Anton knows that you know who I am, the Church of Satan will come after you, and she said that people have no idea how evil they are. They will murder people. They torture people. She said, it goes beyond anything that people can imagine. And they will be very spiteful, because she said, I was conceived. Remember, I told you that a lot of the most powerful demonstrations of the occult were Indian spirits. And I didn't understand that. She's a little white girl, and she said, I was conceived in a power ritual between Anton LaVey as the leader of Crowleyite Satanism in the world and the Aleni Indian nation, whose power spirit is the Piasa bird, i.e. the thunderbird, i.e. the phoenix, which is always the top of the totem pole. And the Indian totem pole represents the power structure of North American Indian spirits. So the most powerful one is on the top of the totem pole, and that's the Piasa bird. So anyway, of course, I didn't know all that stuff, but she said, so Anton did a sex ritual with Madine, who was this Aleni Indian witch that was very, very powerful. And they were hoping that out of that union, that it would combine all of the powers of the North American Indians and all the powers of Crowleyite Satanists. So she said, I came out of that. And Madine wanted me to be sacrificed to the Piasa bird. And Anton would let that happen because he wanted me to have a chance at becoming the bride of Satan. So she said, Anton took me, and I went through years of satanic ritual abuse. She said, all satanic ritual abuse, they're qualifying people at different levels of usefulness in the kingdom of darkness. And she said many children never survive satanic ritual abuse. They take their own lives or they die from the intensity of the abuse. But she said, I survived years of satanic ritual abuse, years of handlers. When they felt like I was ready, they came and said, it's time for you to start the rituals of defilement. She said, for the last 6 years, every Halloween, I've gone through a terrible ritual. And this Halloween is supposed to be the culmination of the whole thing, where Lucifer will appear and will rape me. And if I am evil enough, if I'm dedicated enough to darkness, he might impregnate me with what they call a moonchild, or the product of Lucifer, the human woman, which, of course, the Antichrist will be one such being. But anyway, so that's when it started with the Church of Satan properly. Obviously, they were conjuring demons. We were fighting all of them. But now Anton knew. We started getting threats on our phones, our cell phones, the phones here at the church, and they threatened the most vile, evil things imaginable. So I won't go through them, but really just bizarre, macabre threats against us and our boys and my wife. And so we have 6 of them. There are many threats in each recording, but we have 6 recordings that are filed with the Attorney General of the state of California because of their heinous nature. And they would sacrifice animals, mainly dogs and cats and birds. One time a llama, a full-size llama, was sacrificed here on the church property. They would turn rattlesnakes loose in our yard and our home. We had 3 little boys at the time, or 3 fairly young boys. They were 10, 12, and 14 at the time. But anyway, they did all kinds of things. They did rituals with corn and semen on our front porch, and just bizarre things. And so it was fairly intense. Now, during that time, Anton LaVey began to astral project into Deborah Joy. Some people don't understand that, so give me just a minute to explain that. I know, Tony, you're familiar with the astral plane, and not everybody is, but there's a spiritual plane that's all around us, and it's inhabited by all kinds of beings, and any being that doesn't have a corporal body can be on that astral plane. So there are angels, there are demons, there are all kinds of variations on the theme. There are the unquiet dead. There are all kinds of things out there on the astral plane. Very, very busy, much busier than the mortal plane. But anyway, it's an unseen realm. And so carnal people don't believe it exists, which once you understand it, it's just like how could anyone not believe the spiritual plane exists? It's huge. It controls everything. But anyway, especially in America, which is so pathetically carnal, even in the church, people don't understand the spirit world. If you travel, this is interesting, Tony. The further away from organized Western religion you are, the more spiritual people are.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something? You go into the islands of the sea, they get it, the spirit realm. Miracles nobody questions miracles. The only thing they question is, what is the source of the miracle? Is it good? What demon did that? Blah, blah, blah. Sometime, Tony, you and I should talk about Vanuatu. And, Vanuatu,